Good afternoon, everybody, and hope your day's going really well. We're in the start of making my meat pie filling I make with ground pork. Now, what I do is I don't usually worry about the size. It's just I buy whatever the grocery store has of ground pork in the $5 range here in Canada. And today I added about a quarter pound of ground beef to the mixture. I don't know if you've ever used ground beef and ground pork together to make hamburgers, but it makes a much more juicy and succulent burger. So that's what we're doing with the pie dough today. So it's just ground pork, hamburger, some salt, sprinkling of white pepper. We're going to add in some onions. Now, how much onions is really up to you. I only had half an onion left, so that's what I'm using. And a small can of mushrooms. I prefer fresh myself, but just didn't have the financing for that today, so. And we're just going to cook this all together. And the sauce is just Clubhouse pork gravy mix. And it's a nice little mix. I guess it's kind of a take on shepherd's pie. And it makes a 12-inch pie. And I find that one large slice is good for a meal, and a pie will usually last me 2 to 3 evenings for supper. So that's not bad. So, yeah. Excuse me for a sec. Seeing you've caught a little bit of a cold with the changing of the temperatures. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so a lot of people like to make their own pie dough or pie crusts, and some people like to buy them pre-made from the store. It's up to you. Like I'm not gonna make the pie dough for this. They're already made. I'm just showing you how this mix is prepared. Okay, and one more ingredient I think we'll add. For a little bit of nutrition. And I've just put in a bit of frozen mixed veggies. Okay. So yeah. Because you want this to be a little bit healthy. And as you can hear, they're cutting the lawn outside my apartment building. They really haven't been able to cut it much the past week and a half because it's constantly raining. But the fellow that does it does overlook 3 other buildings. Just doesn't seem to find the time. So we'll just let that cook for a bit, and if you've watched my channel before or any of my videos, I've said before that I love to cook and I love to bake. I took foods all through high school from grade 8 all the way to grade 12. Grade 12 was when we cooked for the cafeteria. It's the only year I took cooking in high school where we weren't allowed to take the products home ourselves. Every product we made, because the class was from 11 to 12, is what was served in the cafeteria. Which is kind of cool. It was a good way for the school to save a little money on buying groceries and stuff. I had a lot of fun in high school cooking classes over the years, let me tell you. I remember in grade 10, the class project was everybody had to make some kind of stew of their own with their own ingredients. My buddy Brian snuck in some mushrooms of the Merlin kind, if you know what I mean. So we ended up putting that, a little bit of that in each of our stews. And let's just say the rest of that school day was not too shabby at all. But it's the one and only time we did something that stupid. I do not recommend it. But, hey, you know, teenagers will be teenagers. Now, not every place has these gravy mixes, but here in Canada, we're lucky we do. I get them when they're on sale for $1, and I usually get 10 or 12 of them. There's chicken flavor, there's pork, there's beef, there's mushroom flavor, there's poutine flavor. And as you can see, it's gluten-free. See, it says right there. And all you do is you heat up a cup of water to boiling. You add the sauce, gravy mix in. You stir it for 2 minutes. Then you turn it off and keep stirring as it starts to cool. And then that will be dumped over top of the cooked meat and veggies. And I'll cook it for a while to let the gravy soak into the meat and veggies. And there's what she's looking like so far. So I'm going to just be right back in the video. When I come back, I'll show you the finished product ready to go in the pie. So till then, thanks for watching. Be right back. Okay, and we're back. The gravy's been cooked, so we're just gonna pour this in the meat and veggie mixture. Now you can use, you don't have to use frozen veggies either. You can use fresh in here if you want. It's just I already have the frozen veggies and it seems to work out well. So it'll thicken up, but there's basically what your pie filling looks like. We're just gonna, let it cook Okay, now, I don't know, but a lot of people growing up, their shepherd's pie had, instead of a top crust, they had mashed potatoes sprinkled with shredded cheese, or rice sprinkled with shredded cheese as a topping for their pie. But this one, I'm going to pour it into a 12-inch pie pan with a bottom crust. And then once this is in, I'm going to sprinkle it with whatever shredded cheese I have available. So you can do it with whatever shredded cheese you have available. Then I'm going to put a top crust on it, puncture the top crust so that the steam can rise. And then you bake it at 350 for 15 to 20 minutes until the crust is golden brown. And then you take it out of the oven, set it aside, and let it sit for 10 to 20 minutes to cool before you cut into it. And that's all there is to making this meat pie. So, I hope you're willing to give it a try. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Now remember, I use ground pork and a bit of ground beef. You can use any meat you want to make this. I guess you could even use cubes of meat. It doesn't have to be ground, but this is just something I came up with on my own, and I like it. And the shredded cheese I'll be sprinkling on top of the meat mixture before I bake it is called Nacho Blend. It's a mixture of white and orange cheddar with chopped up bits of jalapeno in it for a bit of spice, and it's very good stuff. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I hope you will give this pie a chance and try it out yourself. And if you have any questions, just leave comments on the bottom of the video, and I'll answer them the best I can. So everybody, thank you for watching. Have a great day. It's Friday here, so have a great weekend. And till next time, keep it real, okay? Keep smiling. Keep telling the person in the mirror how awesome they are, and tell the people you love them before it's too late, okay? Thanks. Thanks for watching. Ayo. Till next time.